the agenda with the next project,
Yes, sir.
which is also water and sewer, Mid-Carolina Commerce Park. Storage tank.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next project is the Mid-Carolina Commerce Park storage tank in Maine. Once again, I'd like to thank the same group of people that assisted in preparing our submittal and presentation. Mr. Quattlebaum, Mr. Franklin, and Mr. Farmer. All right, a few things about the Mid-Carolina Commerce Park. Located at the Highway 773 interchange of I-26, that's exit 82. Total available acreage, 424 acres. It is a South Carolina Department of Commerce certified site, which means a great deal of due diligence has been performed by the county. Currently has a 50,000 square foot spec building sitting on site. Identified infrastructure concerns. We have an on-site 12-inch water line inside the park that is currently fed with an 8-inch along 773. And our nearest storage tank is that GN storage tank at the corner of 391 and Mount Pilgrim Church Road, which is approximately 6.8 miles from the Commerce Park. Our preliminary engineering report and project description was completed by Mr. Don Franklin, Black and Veatch. And the proposal is to install 10,900 linear feet of water main along 773 and a 600,000 gallon elevated storage tank on site at the Commerce Park. This is an aerial photograph of the Commerce Park. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this area. It's Mid-Carolina Country Club. You'll see the entrance here off SC 773. And this roadway is complete at this time back to the spec building, which is located right in here. This is a drawing depicting the proposal. You'll see connection to an existing 16-inch main. This is right at Mid-Carolina High School. A 12-inch main running along 773 out to the Commerce Park. And a 600,000 gallon elevated storage tank. You'll see this is a depiction of the elevated storage tank. Site acquisition land use said this infrastructure will all be installed on existing Commerce Park site or on private right-of-way. And we had, several years ago, we installed a 12-inch sewer main along 773. In our planning, we chose to obtain private right-of-way to install that 12-inch main because we do feel if the Commerce Park starts moving along, they're likely to 4-lane 773. So we want to be on private right-of-way so that we were sure we wouldn't have to do this project again. So minimal clearing grading is required, no negative spillover effects, and once again electricity is provided by the co-op, and it's already contingent. Just a few permits that would have to be obtained for construction. And the only thing in addition to our previous presentation, these are just, anytime you do a tank job, these are two evaluations you have to perform. That's an FAA obstruction evaluation and an FCC radio interference evaluation. So we don't anticipate any problems there. And all these permit costs and fees are included in our submittal. Environmental assessment would not be required. The Mid-Carolina Commerce Park storage tank, that's a 600,000 gallon elevated tank. Estimated cost is $3.1 million. And the water main along 773 is estimated right at $1 million. Total project cost $4.1. And actually, when we got to look at this, it's odd that these two projects take about the same time period. So if we started in January, it still looks like by the time we got through everything, we would be sometime in September of 19 wrapping the project up. Project submission and support. Once again, the authority would agree to own, operate, and maintain all the proposed infrastructure. Would not create any recurring expenses for Newberry County. All O&M costs and depreciation expense, everything will be borne by Newberry County Water and Sewer. Any cost overruns will be funded with NCWSA reserve funds. All right, I'm going to go through these fairly quickly. We've already discussed the importance of economic development, so a few other points. We invest through our schools heavily in these young men and women in our community. Unfortunately, without local jobs, they often leave our community for better opportunity. What we want to see is these young kids that are being educated in Newberry County, we want to see them staying and having somewhere to go to work with a good job. It's crucial that these local jobs are available for our citizens. And this infrastructure, like I said, unfortunately, has got to be in place before we can get this development to happen. And as Mr. Farmer said earlier, site selection is extremely competitive. What we're up against is we're competing with sites in other counties, and these sites may have all the infrastructure, all the capacity already in place. Some of them have grading done, and so it's a very competitive market there, and so we want to keep Newberry County competitive. Anticipated questions and concerns. Have we explored additional funding sources? And this is the same slide from earlier. Unfortunately, these grant funds are either unavailable or limited. I think the rural infrastructure authority funds are limited at $500,000, but we've applied for two over the last 2 years, and unfortunately been denied both times. And a lot of that is because a lot of their grant funding is going to these distressed communities. And it's a good thing that Newberry County is not distressed, but from a standpoint of getting grant funds, it makes it difficult. And our borrowing capacity is limited by our revenue. Once again, this project is also scalable. It can be divided into 2 phases. And these 2 phases, we put individual cost estimates. They'll be in the form of individual spreadsheets in the submission. And the way this project was broken up was the storage tank as one phase and the water treatment main as the other. What does the project accomplish? This project improves fire protection and water supply at the Mid-Carolina Commerce Park and the surrounding community. We've got a lot of industrial customers in that area. We've got Mid-Carolina High School, Mid-Carolina Middle School, Georgia Pacific, International Paper. So having a storage tank and increased capacity in our lines in that area is critical to providing that demand. Improves the marketability of the Commerce Park. And who does this project benefit? Obviously, it reduces the burden on the customer base to fund infrastructure for economic development. And the economic development activity once again benefit all the citizens of the county. All right, I'll be glad to take any questions. Yes, sir.
Brent, I know both of these are very important, I understand that, but
yes, sir.
Has the board put a priority among these 2 projects as to which is the most important?
Absolutely, yes. So the first project that we submitted, and project number 1, the Lake Murray Water Treatment Plant transmission main, is definitely the most crucial, no doubt. That project will have to be installed, at some point in time. I mean, regardless of anything, any type of development that takes place. So absolutely, the Lake Murray transmission main is priority number 1. Yes, sir. Glad to answer any other questions.
It sounds like when you make presentations that both of them in a lot, am I correct there?
Yes, sir, they do. The reason the transmission main is just so much more important is it just affects, I mean, you got to kind of start with your upgrades at the plant and work your way out. And so it's the most critical in that process, being that, if you had a a larger main on 773, but maybe didn't have the water to put in it, type thing. So it definitely would be the priority. The beginning project would be the transmission main on Macedonia Church Road.
And that's one you said, 3 phases on it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Questions? Hearing no questions, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.